Voyager 1 is the farthest human-made object from Earth, traveling through deep space for almost 50 years. Launched in 1977, it still surprises us with new discoveries and the clever solutions from its team of engineers.
Voyager 1, humanity's lone messenger to the stars, had been silently drifting into the cosmos. But now, without warning, it stopped. No alarms, no collision, just stillness. Out there, beyond the reach of planets and stars where nothing should exist, something had reached out. Then suddenly came the mysterious signals, which are distorted, unnatural, and not from us. Had Voyager 1 just encountered something in the darkness? Or had something found it first? The anomalous machine. In September 1977, NASA launched Voyager 1, a spacecraft designed to explore the outer reaches of our solar system. It provided humanity with its first close-up images of Jupiter and Saturn, revolutionizing our understanding of these gas giants. But its mission didn't end there. After completing its planetary tour, Voyager 1 continued its lonely journey into interstellar space, carrying the famous Golden Record, a time capsule of Earth's sounds and images, intended as a message to any potential extraterrestrial civilizations. By 2012, Voyager 1 had made history by becoming the first human-made object to cross the heliopause, the boundary where the sun's influence ends and true interstellar space begins. Scientists expected it to continue on its trajectory indefinitely, a silent observer drifting through the cosmos. But nearly 50 years after its launch, something unexpected happened, something that defied all scientific predictions. Without warning, Voyager 1 began sending back bizarre signals that no one could explain. The data it transmitted was unlike anything seen before. At first, NASA's Deep Space Network assumed it was a technical malfunction. After all, the spacecraft was operating on outdated technology from the 70s. But as engineers combed through the data, a disturbing realization set in. The anomalies weren't coming from a failing system or corrupted software. The signals indicated that Voyager 1's trajectory had changed. Something was pulling it back. This should have been impossible. At a staggering distance of over 15 billion miles from Earth, Voyager 1 was well beyond the gravitational influence of the Sun and any known celestial body. There were no planets, no asteroids, and no stars close enough to exert any measurable force. And yet its movement had shifted. Was Voyager 1 being influenced by an unseen cosmic force? Some scientists speculated that it could have encountered an uncharted mass, a rogue planet, or an undiscovered celestial object drifting through interstellar space. Others entertained the possibility of a primordial black hole, an ancient remnant of the early universe, too small to be detected by conventional telescopes, but still capable of warping space-time. But then, the mystery deepened. While analyzing Voyager 1's transmissions, NASA detected something even more unsettling. Hidden within the usual radio noise was a structured signal, one that did not originate from the spacecraft itself. At first, scientists assumed it was interference, perhaps a naturally occurring cosmic phenomenon. But as they studied it further, the pattern became undeniable. The signal wasn't random, it was deliberate. It followed a repeating sequence, eerily similar to the mathematical rhythms of coded transmissions. Unlike the chaotic bursts from pulsars or the distant hum of quasars, this pattern suggested intent and intelligence. But intelligence from where? Was this an unknown celestial phenomenon? Some strange interaction between Voyager 1 and an interstellar force we had yet to comprehend? Or was it something more chilling, evidence that we were not alone? For decades, scientists have speculated about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Yet every attempt to detect intelligent signals from space has yielded nothing conclusive. But what if we had been looking in the wrong places? What if the answer was out there, waiting, and Voyager 1 had unknowingly stumbled upon it? Some researchers fear that the signal could be an attempt at communication, an unknown entity reaching out, responding to Voyager 1's presence. If that's the case, what are they trying to say? A greeting? A warning? Or something else entirely? Others suggest a more ominous possibility. What if Voyager 1 has ventured into a region of space that was never meant to be explored? What if the reason we have never encountered other civilizations is that they have deliberately remained hidden? And what if by reaching beyond our solar system, we have unknowingly alerted something to our existence, something that had no intention of being found. NASA is now faced with an unprecedented mystery. The signals continue, but no one knows what they truly mean. Is this a scientific anomaly? A natural but unexplored force acting on it? Or has humanity just made its first, and possibly most dangerous, contact with something beyond our comprehension? The unseen presence. At first, this seemed impossible. Voyager 1 had already passed beyond the influence of any known celestial bodies, drifting in the silent, empty void between the stars. It should have been moving in a predictable, linear trajectory, just as physics dictated. But the data told a different story. Something was there, something massive, something powerful enough to disrupt its movement. Yet when NASA analyzed the surrounding space, they found nothing. No visible planets, no asteroids, no stars. Whatever this entity was, it wasn't emitting any detectable light or radiation. It was completely invisible to traditional methods of observation. But its gravitational pull was undeniable. This left only a few possibilities. One theory suggested that Voyager 1 had encountered a rogue planet, a massive world wandering the galaxy untethered to any star. These planets, though rare, do exist, ejected from their home solar systems and left to drift through interstellar space. But even the darkest planets can be detected by the way they block background starlight. This object, however, remained completely undetectable. The next possibility was even more unsettling: a dark matter object. Scientists believe that dark matter makes up most of the mass in the universe, yet it cannot be directly observed. It doesn't emit light, reflect radiation, or interact with normal matter in a way that can be measured. But if Voyager 1 had encountered a dense concentration of dark matter, could it have affected the spacecraft's movement in ways we don't yet understand? Then came an even more disturbing possibility: a primordial black hole. Unlike the supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies, primordial black holes are theorized to be ancient, microscopic anomalies, leftovers from the birth of the universe itself. Though small, they can be incredibly dense, with gravity strong enough to alter the motion of objects passing nearby. If Voyager 1 had somehow strayed close to such an object, it could explain the strange changes in its trajectory. But there was still one final chilling possibility. What if this wasn't a natural phenomenon at all? What if Voyager 1 had encountered something completely beyond our scientific understanding? Something artificial? Something alive? Then came the final piece of evidence, perhaps the most disturbing discovery yet. As engineers sifted through Voyager 1's latest batch of data, one set of readings stood out. At a precise moment, the spacecraft had turned slightly, as if it had been affected by something nearby. The movement wasn't part of any programmed maneuver. It wasn't a malfunction. It was as if Voyager 1 had reacted to something. Was this just a random mechanical shift? A minor instability in its aging gyroscopes? Or had it actually sensed something in the darkness? The implications were staggering. NASA now faced an unimaginable question. Was this just a bizarre cosmic coincidence? Or had Voyager 1 stumbled upon something that was never meant to be found? And then a new and even more controversial theory emerged. What if Voyager 1 hadn't simply detected an object? What if it had encountered something that was deliberately interfering with it? The repeating signals, the anomalous gravitational force, the unexplained trajectory shift. All of it pointed to one terrifying possibility. Voyager 1 had entered a region of space where something else was already present. And what if that presence was intelligent? For decades, scientists have speculated about the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations, but no definitive evidence has ever been found. The universe is vast, and despite our best efforts, we have only scratched the surface of what's out there. But now, Voyager 1, our most distant emissary, was experiencing something unexplainable, something that defied all known physics. If an advanced intelligence was responsible for this anomaly, the questions became even more unsettling. Was this an automated security system? A defensive measure left behind by an ancient civilization? Had it triggered something that had been lying dormant, waiting for an intruder? Or had it been noticed? There's another deeply unsettling thought. It isn't just any spacecraft. It carries the golden record, a message from Earth, deliberately designed to be found by extraterrestrial beings. Engraved within it are the sounds of our planet, greetings in dozens of languages, mathematical formulas, and images of human life. It is an invitation, a cosmic greeting card intended for intelligent civilizations. Had someone, or something, finally received the message? And if so, was it friendly? Or had we just unknowingly given away our location to something far beyond our understanding? For now, Voyager 1 continues its journey, its instruments still transmitting data across the vast distance. But the mystery remains. What exactly did it encounter? A hidden celestial body? A new force of nature? Or proof that we are not alone? The silent pursuit. NASA is now racing against time, desperate to decipher Voyager 1's latest data before the spacecraft loses power forever. Because whatever is out there, we may never get another chance to understand it. Then out of nowhere, Voyager 1 transmitted something unexpected. A final data burst. It lasted precisely 4 minutes and 33 seconds. At first, it appeared to be routine telemetry, just another transmission from a machine that had been faithfully reporting back for decades. But when scientists examined it closely, they found something impossible. The signal had been altered. Embedded within the transmission were anomalies, patterns and irregularities that did not match any of Voyager 1's known systems, as if something had injected foreign data into the spacecraft's message. And then something even more disturbing happened. Voyager 1 went silent. For the first time in over 40 years, it stopped transmitting altogether. Had it been intercepted, jammed, or had it encountered something that disabled its ability to communicate with Earth? For agonizing minutes, there was nothing. Then, just as mysteriously as it had gone silent, it came back online. The spacecraft continued its journey as if nothing had happened. No explanation, no deviation from its expected trajectory. Just silence, then a return to normal function. Except for one small, chilling detail. The last known coordinates sent back from Voyager 1 no longer matched where it should have been. It was, of course. Something had altered its path. Had the spacecraft been redirected? Scientists scrambled to reanalyze the gravitational disturbances they had detected earlier. Previously, they had assumed the spacecraft had merely drifted near an unknown object, a rogue planet, a primordial black hole, or some unseen mass lurking in the void. But now a terrifying new theory emerged. What if the anomaly wasn't stationary? What if it was moving? The data suggested that a secondary gravitational disturbance had appeared behind it, one that hadn't been there before. It was subtle, almost imperceptible. But it was there. Something was following the probe. Space is vast, desolate, and empty. Voyager 1 should be completely alone. No celestial bodies, no gravitational influences, nothing but the endless abyss. And yet, something was now trailing the spacecraft. Had it simply passed by an unknown presence? Or had it attracted attention? A horrifying possibility emerged. What if the anomalous signal Voyager 1 had received earlier wasn't just a random cosmic fluctuation? What if it had been a response, a reaction to its presence? And if something had noticed Voyager 1, what was it doing now? The implications were staggering. Had an unknown force decided to investigate the probe? Had it intercepted the golden record, the message humanity sent to the stars, inviting whoever might find it to communicate? Had something accepted the invitation? NASA has no way to alter Voyager 1's course, no means of stopping whatever might be out there. The spacecraft will continue its journey, possibly for millions of years. But if something is following it, then whatever is out there is now traveling alongside the only human-made object to ever leave our solar system. And that leads to the final chilling thought. If something has found Voyager 1, how long until it follows its path all the way back home? For decades, this spacecraft has drifted deeper into the cosmos, revealing the universe's secrets. But this latest discovery, unexplained signals, an altered trajectory, and a potential unknown presence, has left scientists with more questions than answers. If Voyager 1 has truly encountered something, then we may have just witnessed first contact without even realizing it. The journey. Before we show you the corrupted message sent by this man-made space probe, you have to understand the actual reason Voyager 1 was launched. It all started on September 5, 1977. That's the day Voyager 1 left Earth, beginning a journey no one expected to last this long. NASA built it as part of the Voyager program, a mission to explore the outer planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and maybe gather some extra data along the way. But here we are 48 years later, and Voyager 1 is still going. Not only is it still active, but it is also the farthest human-made object from Earth, over 15 billion miles away. This means something we built is now floating through interstellar space. But why was Voyager 1 launched? Back in the 70s, scientists realized they had a rare opportunity. The four biggest planets in our solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, were lined up in a way that only happens once every 176 years. This alignment meant a spacecraft could use a gravity assist or planetary slingshot to hop from one planet to another using minimal fuel. So NASA got to work. They built Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, which are two robotic space probes that would take advantage of this alignment. Voyager 2 actually launched first on August 20, 1977, but it had a longer route planned. Voyager 1 was launched a couple of weeks later, and it was set on a faster path, which is why it overtook its twin pretty quickly. Their mission was to study the giant planets, their moons, their rings, and anything else interesting. And that's exactly what they did. At first, NASA only expected a 5-year mission. The goal was to gather data on Jupiter and Saturn, and then, if things went well, maybe keep going. But Voyager 1 exceeded all expectations. In 1979, it reached Jupiter and sent back stunning images of the planet and its Great Red Spot, which is a storm bigger than Earth. It also discovered volcanoes on Io, one of Jupiter's moons. This was something no one even thought was possible. In 1980, it flew by Saturn and captured detailed views of its rings and discovered new moons. It even sent back images of Titan, which is Saturn's largest moon. This led to future missions to explore it. By then it was clear. Voyager 1 was not done. NASA decided to keep it going, sending it toward deep space. For decades, Voyager 1 kept pushing farther. But in 2012, something incredible happened. It left the solar system. Well, kind of. Technically, it crossed the heliopause, which is the boundary where the sun's influence ends and interstellar space begins. It is like an invisible bubble around the solar system, created by the sun's solar wind. Outside that bubble lies the unknown. Right now, Voyager 1 is in interstellar space, moving through an environment completely different from anything we have studied before. Scientists expected weak solar wind and interstellar plasma, but they weren't sure what else they would find. And that brings us to today. So why is Voyager 1 still working after 4 decades? Because it has a nuclear battery, a radioisotope thermoelectric generator that slowly converts heat from decaying plutonium into electricity. But the problem is that power is running out. NASA has been shutting down instruments one by one to conserve energy, but by 2030, Voyager 1 will probably fall silent. That was expected. What wasn't expected? The mysterious message it just sent. Now, before we tell you about the message sent by this space probe, you have to understand how Voyager 1 detects things, because understanding that is key to knowing if its recent message means something serious. Voyager 1 is packed with scientific instruments, including cameras, magnetometers to measure magnetic fields, plasma detectors to study solar wind, cosmic ray detectors to track radiation, and antennae to send signals back to Earth. But there is a catch. Voyager 1 is so far away now that it takes about 22 hours for a signal to reach Earth. That means if it says something weird, NASA won't know until almost a day later. Why is this important? Wait for a few more moments to find out. For now, let's have a look at the amazing discoveries it made before sending a terrifying message to Earth. The amazing discoveries. You see, as Voyager 1 left Earth and moved outward, scientists were not exactly sure where the solar system ended. It is not like there's a big exit sign floating in space. But one of the first clues came when Voyager 1 crossed a region called the termination shock in 2004. So what is it? The termination shock is where the sun's solar wind, or the waves of its charged particles, flying off the sun at supersonic speeds, slow down dramatically because they start interacting with particles from interstellar space. It is like hitting an invisible wall. Voyager 1 confirmed where this boundary was. It was something that had only been a theory before. This was a huge deal because it helped scientists understand how the sun's influence fades away as you move farther out. After passing the termination shock, Voyager 1 entered the heliosheath, which is a turbulent, chaotic region where the solar wind collides with interstellar matter. It is the last layer of the sun's influence before you officially leave the solar system. And the crazy thing is that scientists had no idea what it would be like. They thought this region would be smooth, but it wasn't. It was messy, filled with unexpected magnetic fields and shifting plasma. They thought the solar wind would just slowly fade. It actually became chaotic and unpredictable. They also expected the interstellar wind to smoothly take over, but instead the solar wind seemed to be forming strange bubbles. This was nothing like what scientists predicted. It forced them to rethink how the sun interacts with the galaxy. Then came the big moment. On August 25, 2012, after traveling for 35 years, Voyager 1 became the first human-made object to enter interstellar space. Scientists had expected this crossing for years, but when it happened, it was not what they thought it would be. They expected a gradual transition. Instead, it was like a switch had been flipped. The solar wind suddenly disappeared, and the spacecraft was surrounded by pure interstellar plasma. The magnetic field did not change direction. That was unexpected. Scientists thought it would point in a different direction in interstellar space, but it didn't, and that's still a mystery. This was one of the biggest moments in space exploration history. No spacecraft had ever left the sun's bubble before. Voyager 1 was now in the great unknown. Then came one of Voyager 1's most surprising discoveries. It measured the density of the space itself. Scientists used to think interstellar space was nearly empty, but Voyager 1's instruments detected something shocking. The density of plasma, or the charged gas in interstellar space, was higher than expected. This means that the space between stars is not just an empty void, it has structure. Not only that, the density changes over time, meaning there are waves and disturbances in deep space. This finding was huge because it changed our understanding of what's between the stars. Voyager 1 also made groundbreaking discoveries about cosmic rays. Cosmic rays are high-energy particles that travel through space at nearly the speed of light. Some of them come from exploding stars or supernovae, while others might even come from mysterious cosmic events we don't fully understand. Voyager 1 showed that cosmic rays behave differently inside and outside the solar system. Inside the sun's bubble, the solar wind helps shield us from some of these dangerous particles. Outside the solar system, cosmic rays are much stronger. This is important for future space missions. If humans ever try to travel beyond the solar system, they will be exposed to much higher radiation levels than previously thought. Now let's talk about one of the weirdest discoveries. Voyager 1 heard something. In 2021, scientists revealed that Voyager 1's instruments detected a constant, faint hum coming from interstellar space. It is a low-frequency plasma wave that is always present. The point to note here is that this wave is not coming from the sun or planets. It is purely from interstellar space. Scientists still don't know exactly what's causing it. This discovery suggests that the space between stars is not silent. It has a low, strange vibration, almost like a whisper from the universe itself. Other than this, Voyager 1 uncovered some strange things related to magnetic fields. Scientists expected that once the spacecraft left the sun's influence, it would enter a completely different magnetic environment. But that didn't happen. Instead, the magnetic field barely changed direction. This has led to some major questions like, is Voyager 1 still feeling the sun's magnetic pull, even in interstellar space? Or is interstellar space's magnetic field somehow connected to the sun's? There is also a possibility that some unknown force is present in interstellar space. Whatever the reason is, scientists don't know about it yet. Voyager 1 also carries its golden record, or in other words, Earth's message for aliens. This is not exactly a discovery, but it is too cool not to mention. Voyager 1 carries a time capsule which is meant for any alien civilization that might find it. This record contains greetings in 55 languages, sounds of Earth, like birds chirping, ocean waves, a baby laughing, music from around the world, and images of Earth and human life. The idea was that if an intelligent civilization ever finds Voyager 1, they will know we existed. But the wild part is that Voyager 1 was never supposed to last this long. It was never supposed to leave the solar system, but it did. And even now, after 48 years, it is still teaching us about the great unknown. But then it sent that mysterious message. What did it say? And why now, after all these years? That's what we are about to find out, the strange message. Recently, something weird happened. Voyager 1 sent a signal back to Earth, but it was not the usual stream of data scientists expected. Instead, it was nonsense. Quite literally, just nonsense. You see, at the time, Voyager 1 was about 23.3 billion kilometers away from Earth. That's an insane distance, so far that a message from the spacecraft takes over 20 hours to reach us, and another 20 hours for NASA to reply. Now, space is full of mysteries, but this was different. Scientists were concerned that maybe Voyager 1 was breaking down, or maybe something out there had interfered with it. And the really strange part was that the signal was not weak. If something had knocked the spacecraft off course, its high-gain antenna would have been misaligned, causing the signal to fade. But no, it was coming through loud and clear. Whatever was happening, Voyager 1 was still perfectly aimed at Earth. So naturally, some people wondered that maybe this was a message from something else. Maybe, just maybe, something or someone had intercepted the probe. But sorry to disappoint, but this was not aliens. The signal was coming directly from Voyager 1 itself. You see, Voyager 1 has 3 main computer systems on board, and one of them controls its orientation in space. This system, called the Attitude and Articulation Control System, makes sure the spacecraft stays properly positioned, especially its antenna, which needs to stay locked on Earth to keep sending data. NASA's team tried to decode the message, but it didn't make any sense. The signal was not formatted in any known way. Instead of the expected structured data, it was a mix of zeros and a random number, 377. There was no context or explanation, just a completely out-of-place number floating in the middle of a data stream. The good news was that the rest of the spacecraft seemed fine. There were no emergency alerts and no automatic shutdowns. Voyager 1 was not in danger. It was just confused. But why? After months of investigating, scientists finally figured out that the problem was with AACS. The even weirder thing is that the part of the computer that was sending the data had actually stopped working years ago. For some reason, the spacecraft had started routing its communication through a faulty system that had not been active in ages. The result was garbage data that made no sense. Now the big question was, could they fix it? With a machine that is billions of miles away, there is no physical repair option. No astronaut can fly out there and hit restart. NASA had to send commands remotely and hope for the best. Luckily, they had a low-risk solution. They simply told Voyager 1 to switch to a different working computer to send its data instead. And just like that, the problem was solved. For now, Voyager 1 is back on track. The spacecraft is still receiving commands, still sending data, and still pushing deeper into interstellar space. NASA has not said how long it took to fully fix the issue, but given that every message takes over 20 hours one way, this was not a quick process. And just to be sure, they checked Voyager 2. They found no issues there. Voyager 2 was working just fine, but this event did something unexpected. Even though the message was just a technical glitch, it reminded scientists that Voyager 1 is still out there, still sending signals and still exploring. And who knows, maybe one day it really will send a message that changes everything. Now tell us, what do you think is Voyager 1's most incredible discovery so far? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more updates, don't forget to subscribe. There is always something new happening, and you won't want to miss it.